Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Expanded Woman Network podcast, hosted by Sherry Gideons and Misty Willis.
Hello. I would like to welcome you today, Bindu. Thank you so much for being here today, and we're just super glad to have you. Let me get you some information here, get us started. So you have a program called Ignite It, and you have such a great background of women's empowerment and operations. And just tell us more about you and what your program is.
Oh, great. No, thank you very much, ladies, first of all, for inviting me. I'm so excited to be a part of this group. You guys are such an inspiration. Love it. Love the energy. And when you reached out, I was more than happy to come on and just share my story. So Ignited is a company that myself and my partner, Dr. Lauren Freeman, we literally came together and said, it's time to give back. We have a corporate background. We have been entrepreneurs and in C-level positions for years. And we're at a point where we basically want to inspire, motivate, and educate women around us. So the main mission of Ignited is to empower females to say, yes, you can, in many, many facets. And we want to be excited about it. So we want to be a part of everyone's journey. And we always say that as entrepreneurs and female leaders, all of us are here because we had an experience that catapulted us into understanding the importance of coming together and giving back. And Ignite's mission is really about that. It's really empowering that fire within you.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Love that. Love that. So do you think that we're in a time right now where we're, as women, are realizing that it's more about we instead of me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I'm sure you've heard this before. Why do women at times tear us down instead of building us up? I know I personally have been in situations where I reach out and I'll have a concept, a new idea, and I'll reach out to a woman that I think would be excited, and they'll say, sounds great. Let me know. I'm thinking, wait, you're not feeling what I'm feeling? Okay, That's okay. You're probably not where you are in a journey as I am. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that I think it's time for all of us to come together and understand how much we can impact another woman when we say, hey, why would you want to rebuild or reinvent that wheel? Come do it on my platform, or let's get on this podcast today and let's, spread some positivity. I mean, it's really, really building us as females and showing that we are stronger together. I was just telling Misty a minute ago, I had a great call this morning with an individual who's pretty powerful, and she's all the way in Miami. She's not even in here in Dallas, Texas, and that's what the power of females coming together. You can touch people's lives that are not within your immediate community. And I feel that the global presence for Ignited is telling women from all walks of life, and no matter where you are, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can be a stay-at-home mom who's trying to find your voice, trying to find your passion, and trying to build your own awareness and your strength. And I think that's what it is. I know people look at me and go, okay, you're an entrepreneur, you just sold a medical wellness practice, and now what are you doing? Personal development. Like, what is that? And how do you make money? Okay, well, not everything's about making money. It's about money will come if you have a genuine heart to empower people around you. Then all of a sudden it starts it's like putting pieces of a puzzle together, right? You realize, hey, if we join forces and do an initiative together, we're touching people's lives. And of course there's a monetary value to it, but it will come naturally, and that's why for Under Ignited, we have 4 pillars that I want to quickly let you guys know what it's about.
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome. The first pillar is personal development and coaching. So we do one-on-one business coaching, entrepreneurship, financial management, everything under the sun. But we can reach out to corporations and say, hey, we can come on site and do leadership training to your females that are looking to get promoted or are in high profile positions, but could use some mentoring that's outside of their environment. So that's the personal development and coaching. It's our first pillar. Our second pillar is our e-learning platform. So we are doing everything online. Wow,
Right.
Look at the timing of that.
I know, perfect timing.
Exactly. So our live webinars and our predetermined library of topics that a company, a corporation, a organization can say, I want these 5 courses for my women leaders or just my employees so they can, better themselves. So we give that access either from the comfort of your home in your pajamas, or you can go live on a webinar, which, the two of you are very familiar with. Our third pillar is our conferences and retreats. Yes, I know. Sherry and Misty, I love talking to you, both of you, about that and seeing how we can partner. But I was fortunate and blessed enough to have 2 conferences that I had hosted under P5 Women's Empowerment, and I loved it. I walked out of there like literally walking on cloud 9. And I love being able to touch females and say, you got this, we're going to do it together. And we did 2 conferences. One was building confidence as a woman and also about stress management. 2 very important topics. So our third pillar is going to be planning conferences, and I guess it'll be 2021, not this year, and retreats, international retreats. We're planning a spiritual retreat in Bali, Thailand. We have some amazing team members who are willing to, take the reins and really have a spiritual journey with females as well. And then our fourth pillar is our recognition and motivation pillar, positive t-shirts, journals. We are dabbing into essential oils as being more of a health and wellness, holistic. I knew you would love that.
I love
more
that.
of a holistic solution.
I just breathed essential oils before we got started on the podcast.
Yes. Yeah. I love it because it really supports the fact that we don't have to be, well, let me back up. I have a quick story. I have a woman who actually told me she's been on antidepressant medications for over 25 years of her life. And when I asked her why, she didn't know.
Wow.
She didn't know, but she knew that if she stopped taking it, she would go in withdrawal. And I said to her, do you know what you're doing to your body by putting medication in your body that maybe you don't need, but you don't understand because your health care wasn't being managed the way it should be. So it's really educating, and so those 4 pillars as a domino effect kind of talk to each other, and it gives people the understanding that we're doing a 360 solution on how you can be the best version of yourself, sleep better, eat better, move better, breathe better. And how do you do that together and just educate instead of trying to sell something? I'm not trying to sell anything. I hope you can hear the intensity in my voice about how much
I can feel it, girl. I've got goosebumps all over. I can feel it. I'm like, oh, yes. Yeah, because that's what it's really all about, is us coming, all of us coming together and helping each other, raising each other up. And why keep that knowledge that you have inside when you can be making an impact on everyone in the world? I mean, absolutely. I have a quick little experience to share. I have a lot of experiences. My first conference that we held in Frisco, Texas, about 2 years ago, I was getting ready to go live and standing close to the front of the audience. And this woman comes up to me and she said, Bindu, do you remember me? And I looked at her. I'm really good with faces, sometimes names, but faces. So I looked at her and I said, you look familiar, but I can't place you. And she said, well, 11 years ago, I met you in the lobby of my bank. And you had just told me you went through a divorce and you had a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old literally, between your legs. And you were telling me, I need financial help. I don't know what I'm doing. Help me. And she said,
I will never forget spending time with you in my office and rebuilding your finances and telling you, yes, you can. Just because you went through this doesn't mean you have to take 4 steps back. We'll do it together. And so she said, I've been watching you for 11 years on social media. And when you posted this conference, I bought my ticket. I brought my girlfriend with me, and we're here to support you. So she says this to me, and I'm like, what do I do? Yes, I started bawling, and then I turned around and the person said to me, you go live now. And I went, oh. I had to like compose myself, walk in front of this audience. And if anyone was watching will remember this, I had this whole intro planned out that went out the door. I couldn't even function, and I had to tell the story. So I made this woman, her name is Bridget, stand up in the audience. I said, Bridget. And I'm just explaining to the audience what just happened. And people started crying, and people started like literally understanding and relating, because you're sharing your journey, right? You're sharing your story. And here someone I didn't even know was watching you for 11 years tells me, girl, you did it. Like this, of course you can do it. If you're focused and you surround yourself by positive people, you can do it. So, you know, it's just something I love sharing, because obviously I can't stop thinking about it.
That's a
I love that you shared that story. It may, you know, it taps me into my heart too, because you said something earlier. One of the things that on my own journey I realized was it was about bringing the heart to the head. It was getting out of the head, and it was just fully opening and expanding my heart. And as I've opened and expanded my heart, you know, I mentioned to you earlier about the attraction factor. And what happens is you pull to you what you are. When you realize that everything you need is already in here. And you don't need to compete with other people who are doing the same thing as you, that when you unite from that heart space, what happens is you're actually pulling to you what you are. You're like kind. And so like us talking and planning, you know, to do a seminar together this year at some point I mean, just the idea of it is so much fun, because we realize that your journey is your journey. It's the hero's journey. My journey is my journey. Misty's is Misty's. And I talk about even like, look at Jesus and Martin Luther King and, you know, Ram Dass and all of them. Their journey was about expanding and coming out into the light and sharing with other people. Like you said, what's available within them. You know, we got this. We can do this together. And I love what you're sharing about that.
I think that as a woman, we don't realize how we affect others with the power of our voice. Sherry and Misty, when I was on a call with you that one day a few weeks ago, actually it's been more than a few weeks, but I remember both of you just telling me what drives you, and Sherry, your story. And I probably repeated your story to at least 10 other women, because I love when people are humble enough to want to share and say, look, my life is not as perfect as you think. You know, it took a lot of heartache, and it took a lot of falling down flat on your face a few times and getting up and saying, okay, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to fix it. I'm not going to repeat my mistakes. And I'm not going to judge other people who go through it, because I've gone through it. No one's perfect, right? And so I think the power of our words, it's equally important to be positive in a situation versus pointing fingers and being judgmental toward another woman, which I don't understand why people do it. I feel like they have their own demons that they fight with, and that's why they can't even get out of their own way. It's like peeling the layers of the onion. You're like, what's going on? You really can't be that cold-hearted. Like, what's going on, you know? And you'll find that they have a story. And I feel the more people I talk to, at one point, a month ago, I said I wanted to meet 30 females in 30 days, either in face-to-face or over, the phone. And I did, and it was amazing. It was just heartbreaking at some point to hear what people go through. And then I come back and I go, okay, my life is not as bad as I think. I'm okay. Or, you know what? My life can be even better. Look what she's doing. Look what Sherry's doing. Look what Misty's doing. I mean, both of you own businesses, author. I mean, there's so many things that, I feel that just really, really resonates as a woman when you surround yourself with a positive girl tribe.
Oh my God. I love that. You know what? My heart just expanded when you said that, because I felt the power of your words, the authenticity, the genuine heart. I mean, when we begin to let go and surrender and fully get clear about what brings us passion, what brings us joy, what, like you said, what ignites that fire within us,
Exactly.
you know, to rise. The beauty of it is intuitively, you know when you show up in someone's moment, that this, what I like to call it, it was called divine order. It showed up right on time, on purpose. And that's what happens when we, you know, tap into the heart space. I keep bringing up the heart space because it's such a powerful part of us that we are unconscious of how it affects what's showing up in our lives, what we're pulling in the moment.
That's right.
So thank you. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Of course. And I think that's another reason why we decided to launch our first online live webinar, which is coming up Monday, May 4th. And I know, I'm excited. I'm beyond excited. If you ask my team, I was just like, woohoo, yesterday in our weekly calls, and they must have thought I was crazy, but that's okay. That's where my energy is right now.
Well, I'm excited to be there.
Yes, I can't wait for you to join us. But Monday, May 4th, we have a live webinar called Sharpen Your Career Presence in 4 days. And the reason we decided to launch this topic is because, you know, as females, we are in different positions in our life, right? So either with this unfortunate situation we're in right now, a lot of people have lost their jobs. And they know it wasn't intentional. Most of the time it's not intentional. It's because of where we are with the whole crisis. Then there's people who are in jobs and going, what am I doing here? Like, I don't even know why I'm here 9 to 5 or 8:30 to 5. And I really don't know what my purpose is, what my passion is. Then there are people who I've been in my job. I've tried for every promotion and I'm just not getting it. What is going on? And I've mentored people in every one of those categories throughout the years. And this is really about, you know, standing out and being noticed, right? And finding your voice. We'll be doing 4 days of module training live, 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time. I'm so excited. I have people registering all across the globe. I mean, I have people from California to Boston to Florida I have all these people who are saying, I want to hear how you've made it to where you have, and why you think it's important to tell females that stop with the excuses, stop being a victim. Like, if there's a reason why you're not moving ahead in your career, there's a reason. I mean, there's a reason. I hate to say that, but you got to look probably inside and go, I have to ask myself these 5 questions. Oh, I can't answer it. Okay. It's like seeing a therapist who pushes you to answer a question. And you're like, I really don't want to admit that I'm lazy. Right. Lazy is a word that no one wants to say they are. It's not a positive thing, but it's okay if you think you're lazy. Now, how do you get yourself out of that? Right. So we're going to do daily module exercises. We do live chat sessions through an exclusive Facebook Live group. We're doing daily giveaways from our corporate sponsors. We really want, it's by woman for woman. Some men said, you mean I can't sign up for the course? Well, you can, but there's going to be a lot of girl power topics that we'll be talking about. Sorry, as I drop my earplug. But we're excited because we want to share best practices. And Dr. Lauren Freeman and myself, we're both partners. We've been mentoring and coaching females for such a long time that we feel that our story will resonate. And then within the group, you'll end up meeting new people. So on the Facebook group, you're talking to each other, you're posting your daily exercises, you're having chats about the topic for that day, and you begin to build a new network, right? So as you meet more and more females, the more and more you realize there's so much for you to learn. So I'm really excited about this. I'm so excited. There's a lot of corporations who are giving us free sponsorship for females who can't afford it. It's really about giving back. So that's been overwhelming response for me, but I love it. And people who are signing up, it's through our website. It's igniteitacademy.com. As soon as you log in, you'll see a little sign up for the website, register here, and everything is automated. You'll get an email, but We're running a special as well, a promotion code of 10% off. It's just Sharpen10 is the code. But here's my biggest thing. If you can't afford it, let me know. We'll get you on. No one should be denied the opportunity to educate your mind. So we will find ways to get you.
Speak it, girl. Speak it. Because that's one of the things, listen, that's one of the things that's the biggest in your face right now is fear. Fear that I don't have enough. And I say this to people all the time, as a coach, because I teach about the physical world and the spiritual body. And there's 4 spiritual bodies. And what happens is if you have in the first spiritual body not enough, you don't realize that you're creating a vibe, a feeling. And it's from that feeling that you're creating a frequency. And that's like a signal, a radio antenna that's going out into what we call the astral universe. And it's pulling back to you your belief about yourself, not enough. And so I love that you're taking that away and you're saying, listen, you know what? This is for you. And there is a way, and we've got this, and we can do this. And you know what? Reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out, because we want you to be part of this program.
Exactly.
Thank
exactly.
you.
It's so important to give back. So we do not ever deny someone the power of educating your mind and being around other females. I mean, it's our way to give back. So however we can help, you just reach out and we'll take care of it.
The amazing part of that too is that you don't know where that person that you're giving back to will lead, and they're going to be giving back, and they're going to be doing the same things that you are, and we're all going to expand, which is the whole purpose of all of this, right? So how can someone get involved with your company, your program? If they, how do we reach out to you besides the email or online? Do you have a specific Facebook group people can join, or
Yes. Yeah, we're across all social media. Our Facebook page is Ignite It Global. And so is our Instagram handle and our LinkedIn. Everything is under Ignite It Global. You can follow us there. You'll see all of our daily postings, and you'll see our messages. We also have a program called the Ambassador Program. So the Ambassador Program is anyone who would like to help spread the word in their community. So anywhere across the United States and even international. I spoke to somebody in Dubai the other day who was like, what are you doing? Like, absolutely. Because when you think about it, in a country or in the Middle East, especially, females, they're just finding just the little things that they can do outside of just being able to vote or owning things and working and just think about where they are and where we are, right? So anything we can spread globally. But being an ambassador, we actually have we represent our brand, and within your community, we give you the resources, the tools, and we have monthly calls where we get on and say, what's our messaging for this month? Okay, this month is, I don't know, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay, so how do we unite and give support to those who are survivors or people who need education? And we have a team of corporate level ambassadors who are, like I said, clinical therapists, who are fitness experts, who are in medical fields and financial fields that can step in and be a part of that delivery and messaging. So we are creating a network of females who are going to come in and say, it's now time for me to give back. So you can be an ambassador. You can follow us on our social media platform, be a part of all of our events that we are planning out for the rest of the year and next year. And always email me, Bindu, BINDU @ignitedacademy.com, and ask me, if just to get on a call with me, and there might be some synergy that we can partner on something. I love meeting people. So that's the easiest way.
And you're so friendly and open. And I think anyone that is needing that from you will feel comfortable in being able to get that, to just talk to you, because you're so friendly. I love you to death. So,
thank you, Misty.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that we were able to connect. Us all uniting and doing this just means the world to me. And, I feel sometimes that I'm not on the same levels as y'all, but I feel that I'm really blessed to be here and be in the presence of people like you that are making that huge difference. So Thank you so much.
Well, I actually disagree. I do think you're on our level because there's a lot of people who say they want to give back and kind of sit back passively and doesn't do anything. They just watch, which is, again, that's where you are in your life. But here you are on this podcast. Here you are in a wonderful social media group where you're constantly posting about positivity and you're giving back. And that's what you're going to be doing. And you, an entrepreneur. There might be other people out there who would love to be an entrepreneur, but couldn't press the gas pedal on that. And here you are. You can probably teach a course on just how to take the risk and walk away from a full-time job and boom, start your own business. I mean, not everyone is as, as courageous as, you are. And I need you to understand your value. so yes, we love you too.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's the message needs to come forward that each and every one of us is valuable and that each and every one of us has a zone of genius and that is passion. It's that feeling, once again, that I talked about where, we're igniting the heart energy. The heart energy is very powerful. And so when we recognize that we have something to offer the whole, that it actually expands the entire universe. And so, it's about, you said it earlier, the toughest part is for people to take accountability and look at where they're limiting themselves, look at where they're not allowing themselves to come into an environment that actually serves them and creates more of that feeling of joy and happiness, which is what people really want anyway.
Absolutely. And I think we need to tell other females that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay. It doesn't show that it's not a sign of weakness. It's really not. It's that it's proving that you're human, and that you go through experiences like everybody else. And I keep telling myself, when I have 3 boys, and anytime they bring something home that I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's just how you deal with it. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We're going to learn from this process. We're going to move on. It's okay. You make a mistake. And the important thing is for you to learn from your mistake and keep moving. I think you really are a true product of your environment. You really are. And I've been around, I'm from the Northeast, originally from Philadelphia, went to school in Boston, and now I'm in Dallas. And there are parts of the Northeast that are really rough, and I've had friends who lived in those kind of areas, and they're struggling to not fall into that hole of education doesn't matter, being kind to people doesn't matter. No, it does matter. So do whatever you can to get out of that situation and look for mentorship, look for positivity, look for a group like this, and attach yourself to it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You're going to feel good. You're going to make some new friends. Just try it, so that's why I keep saying, being vulnerable, I think, is something I learned throughout the years, that it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. And I think people need to hear that you're vulnerable. And that, it's just one day at a time.
Oh my God. Well, I'm all about that message. Because, that's really honestly where I have come to in my life, and the magnificent, amazing opportunities that show up every day as a result of me living in the moment, me utilizing, what's happening in the moment. Because one of the things that happened on my journey that I like to look at is vulnerability. I mean, you brought it up. I mean, it's such a huge topic that needs to be talked about, because I recognize in my vulnerability that I'm observing that. I'm no longer emotionally attached to there's something wrong with me being vulnerable. I'm looking at how is that going to expand me, heal me, and open me up to grander parts of myself. And so even like when I coach people or work with people, one of the things that I recognize now at first, because I'll give you an example. One of the things that used to be a struggle for me was caring about what people thought. And so I was willing to do whatever it took in order to be liked and loved, because I cared so deeply about what people thought. And then there was a point where I said, when somebody would show up and they'd say, oh, so-and-so said this. and I could feel it like a big bullseye at the top of my head. And I could feel this anger and this resentment and this frustration like hit me like a bullseye when somebody would say, you know, so-and-so said this, because part of my journey was letting go of what people thought. So there was that moment where I was looking at the person and saying, wait a minute here, that's a sign of weakness. So that came my judgment. And so in being vulnerable, I was willing to look at where I was judging unconsciously because of something that was being revealed to me that needed to be healed. And so in living in the moment, I was able to address that vulnerability and say, wait a minute here. Thank you. Thank you for showing me this. Wow. What a gift. What a blessing. Thank you. Because I'm now ready to release that from a place of conscious awareness and then step into my power. And what's my power? I love helping people. I love meeting people in the moment and talking to them about anything that lifts them and helps them to rise. That's what I love. And so then what happens is my power expands and I bring more and more of that into my moment to moment of today.
Yes, yes. And your energy, if people don't feel your energy, then again, it's not that it's wrong. It's just where they are in their life.
Yes.
And do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to judge someone. Even this webinar that we are hosting, people are like, oh, it's great. Okay, well, it's great. Do you not want to be a part of something really exciting? Yeah, I do, but I don't have the time. It's one of those things when people tell me they don't have time, you make time. You make time for things that are part of your personal growth, right? I mean, this is my office and I have these white walls, you know, I write things about my personal development not because I'm trying to impress anyone. It's just, if I read 2 books a month, like as soon as you said your book was released, I bought it on Amazon right there and then. I started reading it. And I started reading the book and I'm thinking, you know, this is another woman's journey. This is her, like what has worked for her and what she wants to tell other people. I'm giving you hope, right? And personal development is so important because every time you get kicked and you fall down, what makes you get up? You know, when you wake up in the morning, why do you put your 2 feet on the ground and get up and go, okay, I'm going to deal with today. I'm going to deal with today. It may be a crappy day. It may be a day where like Misty can't even open her business and she's trying to figure out when she can open it. And that's heartbreaking for an entrepreneur, but she knows it's okay. She told me earlier today, it's okay. I know whenever we open, it's going to be good. I'm going to go right back into it. And that positivity is your personal growth, right? And I feel that, you know, when someone reaches out to you and say, like when I tell people, I send a lot of messages out to my network and I said, listen, sharpen your career presence. It's just about you as a person. I mean, I don't care if you're not working right now, but understand what can make you find your passion, because maybe you're afraid to say, I'm a writer. Maybe you're afraid to say, I'm a dancer. I'm whatever. I'm an author. Sometimes a lot of us have hidden talents that we didn't even know we had. And one of the modules we're doing is a personality assessment about extrovert versus introvert, and then all the different personality traits that make you who you are. And when I was coaching someone one-on-one privately, I had her take the personality test and I went over the results with her and she goes, stop. Because I feel like you just know me inside out. Oh my God, that's scary. I said, it's not me. I'm reading your results based on how you tested, but it speaks volumes on how you deal with people in your life, at work, your friends, your family. You can't be one way and then one way. There's just no way. I mean, there are people who try, but it doesn't make sense. Then that's when you lose your authenticity, right? People know, well, that you're just being fake. You don't really care. Well, if you care, your actions will speak louder. And that's what this webinar is really about. It's really, you know, digging deep in and saying, what is my purpose? What's my value? What is my why? I always say that. What is your why? Tell me why you do what you do, because it shows. If you're bored, it's going to show. If you hate your job, it's going to show. I actually had to tell a waitress a few months ago. I told a waitress one day, I'm like, you're not happy with your job. You just threw the plate at me. Like, you know, if you don't like what you're doing, change it. There's so many opportunities out there. So
I think that's something that even though she may not have wanted to hear that at that moment, she probably needed to hear it. And that's awesome that you would be able to just tell her that.
Well, I ended up coaching her too. So I guess she didn't ever have anyone. She goes, what do you do? I'm like, no,
yeah. But
yeah,
that's the thing is a lot of people are afraid to be like that, put you in a vulnerable position to say that to her. You don't know what she's going to say back to you, you know?
Yes.
But she probably needed it. And now look at you. So what is her why? What is she doing now? What is she going to be doing?
Unfortunately, she's not working anymore because she was a waitress. But
well, it gives her time to think about it.
Exactly. Through the coaching process, she's trying to find her new career. So she's actually on our webinar. So I'm sure she'll do well when we go live on Monday. So yeah.
Ooh.
I love that you have all these different levels because that meets people right where they're at. So, you know, some people may be a little more advanced and a little more conscious of what their why is. I like to get the why. And then I also like to get the burning desire. You know, what's the burning desire? The burning desire is what it's like I like to call it a rocket. It's like a rocket that you send out. And we're back to the heart. It's attached to the heart again.
Yes, it is. And Sherry, you're right, because your why today might be different 6 months from now, a year from now. Because think about it. I just completely left my entrepreneurship, managing medical wellness practice to personal development full time. Now, did I ever think that would happen? No. I woke up one day and go, okay, now my why has to be changed. You know, I need to expand. I want to do this full time, giving back to females, and not just do it part time on the side when I have time. I'm bought in. I'm all in. So when you tell me you don't have time, like that's what I say. When someone tells me they don't have time for something, I'm thinking, you think you don't have time. If you wrote down every hour of that day that you spend what you're doing, you'll find time, you know, and it's just, it's what gets you excited. Like even this conversation for me is so organic. Like nothing's scripted. Like we talked about this earlier, nothing is scripted. Nope. It comes from the heart. And, you know, if anyone who's watching live goes, oh, I need that energy, come on, jump on that boat. Like, come on in and be part of this group. So,
yeah. We'd love to have everyone too. You know, we're all doing this together. And I know you mentioned the conferences, you know, and maybe next year, but I think we are really excited about maybe doing one this year. And maybe not in person, but maybe an online conference where we can have all different speakers come in and people can hear from you. That would be awesome.
I love it. And hear from all of you. I mean, I love it. You're right. The online conferences are absolutely something. You know what? We are pivoting. We're pivoting every day right now. And conferences and, you know, we had happy hour with my high school class reunion. A bunch of us girls got on from class of 93. Woohoo!
I'm not far behind you.
You say 93. I'm class of 83.
Girl, you guys both look amazing. We all are killing awesome. It. Okay. But we got on the Zoom call. We're all just staring at each other like, wow, you haven't changed and you haven't changed and you're awesome. And I just think it's making us go out of our comfort zone and be creative in how we connect with people and getting back to the basics, you know, not just text messaging all day or Instagram or whatever it is that the younger generation is doing that we're all adapting to. But it really is. Yeah, no, it really is just reaching out and touching people, not just conferences. You're right. Online, digitally. Yeah, absolutely.
We did.
Well, it's really about opening and expanding ourselves because, you know, one of the things about going back to the why, I just feel like that's such a powerful message that we need to bring forward in what you're doing with, you know, this webinar. I want to call it a workshop, but a webinar is that as the why changes, that's what expansion is. As you achieve something, you know, you get your why, you're clear about that. And then you achieve it, you expand into a more conscious awareness of what is the next thing that's going to ignite the fire within you, that's going to rise that energy within you, that taps you in, turns you on, and ignites your passion. And that's one of the messages I feel is so vital, you know, to bring forward is that today is today.
Mm-hmm.
And as we tap into that today, that is what takes the messages about tapping in to that energy that brings us passion today and put our focus on that.
I absolutely agree. And like I said, it's constant growth. I have people who tell me, yeah, I'm good. You know, I don't really need to read that book. I don't really need to go to that webinar. I don't really need to, I got to figure it out. Okay, well, you may have figured it out from like the 1990s, but do you know that everything changes every day? Every day.
That's ego talking too. That's ego consciousness.
It is. And I just think that every time I feel like I figured out something, I talk to someone like both of you and I go, oh, that's a good point. I love that. I write that down. You know, because it's just a nugget. Yes. I mean, it's a nugget. It's a nugget that you share.
Yeah. And that's why I'm excited to go on your webinar too, because every time I hear someone speak or listen to a podcast or read a new book or whatever, I'm learning something every single time and am able to use it and apply it to my life in the way I've received it at that moment. And definitely, I mean, all the different journeys I've been through, it's just following and going with the flow and feeling that's where my gut's taking me. That's where my heart is open to. That's my why right now. And it really excites me. Our conversation excites me. It's like,
you know what? I feel like people like Rachel Hollis, for example, when she came out with her, girl, wash your face. I love, like when I'm reading her book, I feel like she's talking to me because she's like, stop. You really think you have problems? You think no one else has problems? Like, really? You think you want to crawl up fetal position in your bed and go, everything's over. I can't believe this is happening to me. And it's okay to say it. It's okay to think it. But then what do you do from it? Right. And I think that's where, you got to constantly wash your face and say it's a new day and I'm going to get through this. And how am I going to do this? I'm going to feed my brain. Every time you feed your brain with new data, new experiences, new people, any of those things, you are, again, I keep saying this, like you keep catapulting yourself into a different zone. Like you keep going into these new zones and you go, okay, now I've conquered this. I'm going to move on to this. And my mother-in-law, for example, she's in her late 70s and she's girl powered to the max. I mean, she will send me these wonderful, quotes and wonderful text messages about, I'm so proud of you. But think about the generation she's from, and for her to understand the importance of us lifting each other. My husband always tells me, he goes, when I met you, I felt like you remind me of my mom's. My mom's been girl power all the way. And she's like, and that's how you are. And it can be a little intimidating as a man to have such a woman who's so independent, who doesn't really need me, but I love it because it's an attraction factor as well, and that's why you can learn from all different ages, from all different generations on what's the best way to give back. Or there's some humility and respect that goes along with how people that we touch, right? And so it doesn't matter how old I am, how old you are, it's our experiences that make us so unique.
Yes, absolutely. Beautiful. And I love that, here it's just us three, even in this environment, and the people that are watching and listening right now, it's that circle of influence. And when we have this inner circle of influence, we support each other, we lift each other. It doesn't matter where we're at. We, as we said earlier, can be vulnerable within the circle of influence and re-tap each other in to that power. I have my own mentor. He has been my mentor for, almost 20 years now, Reverend Nancy Woods. And no matter how much I know about, this process of watching my thoughts and, being conscious of when I'm emotionally attached to something that's not serving me, I can go to her and she will reconnect me. She'll be like, Sherry, because if you knew her personality.
And then Sherry does that to me.
And I do that to
She's like, I'm sorry I have to talk to you this way. Yesterday. We were talking that way yesterday.
I shake her and I go, Misty.
But we need that. We need someone
We
like
do.
that in our life. You know, when I was in Boston, I worked for a managed care company, and I had a mentor. She was the vice president of the company, and I had just had my first child, and I walked in there, and the job I interviewed for, I didn't really care for, and she came in. She never comes in for the interview. Came in and said, "Listen, don't tell HR I told you this, but you're going to take this job because I'm going to offer it to you. And you're only going to be in this position for 6 months, and I'm going to promote you. I just need you to come in and learn our services. And I have a manager that's not doing so well. I have a feeling she's really struggling, but I think you'll be a great fit for that role, but just hang in there. If not, I'll create a position for you." I'm like, she goes, "Just go by your gut. Either you trust me or you don't. I won't put that in writing. And if HR asks me, I'll deny it." This never happened. This conversation never happened. And I went home thinking, that's really bizarre. I didn't get it. I took the job. Month 5, she had me come to her office. She goes, "I'm going to announce that you're the manager of that department next month." And I go, "Oh, wow." And my career with her, 7 years of me being in that company, she would promote me every year. And she'll promote me to be over a new department to fix it. And I always think this story about, she put me in charge. Like one day it was on a Friday at 4 p.m. and she came in, she had stickies all across the walls. And she said, "Okay, Bindu, I need you to manage the call center." I said, "Whoa, stop. No. I don't care about call centers. Don't really want to be in a call center manager. Like I have no aspect that. Oh no." And she goes, "No, you're going to do it." And I said, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, because I want you to fix it. I want a non-traditional approach. I want you to look at it like from black and white. Why am I having such high turnover in staff? I need you to walk in there. I've gotten stellar black belt call center managers who can't handle it. So I need you to go in there and fix it." Kicking and screaming. I went into it, but that weekend on my drive home, I stopped at Barnes and Noble and got How to Manage Call Center for Dummies.
I read it.
And I read it from cover to cover because I didn't want to look, like I didn't know what I was talking about,
Yeah.
And I, with her help, because she was my mentor, and that's when she would instill Stephen Covey's 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. Like she would walk around with it in her little binder and give me the little bookmark and keep going, "Sharpen that short." I'm like, "Oh God, okay, Steph. But I say this story because she kept moving me and moving me and moving me. 7 years of my growth. I would not be here if it wasn't for Stephanie. And she's still my mentor, and she'll push me and tell me, what are you doing? No, stop. And do you even know? And she's the one that's raw and very, very black and white and not afraid to hurt my feelings because I know she cares about me. So for Sherry to go, "Misty," or vice versa, whatever, we need a Sherry in our life. We need a Stephanie in our life, no matter how old you are. And I'm so happy to hear, Sherry, that you say you still have a mentor because there's a lot of people who think they don't need it, and you do need one. Always.
Heck yeah, I'm the same way. I wouldn't be where I am today without Nancy, and just like you said, she pushes me forward, but she also pulls me back all the time and says, "Listen, hit the pillow," because meditation is so vital in who I am, what I am. It's reconnecting to me, that source, that energy, that God within. And it's getting me out of the way of the how, because I'm a thinker and I got a million ideas coming in all the time. I mean, they're coming from everywhere. Yes. Misty's so creative, but the thing that happens when you do that is that you distribute a lot of energy, and you need to come back in and ground yourself and silence yourself and realign with what it is you really want, because focus is very important in creating what you really want.
Absolutely. And that's why this webinar is so important. I mean, on Monday, when we jumpstart this whole mission, it's not a class. It's really about experiences. It's really about getting you motivated and hyped about wanting to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You are important. Nobody else is going to invest in yourself like you will. Everyone will claim they will, but you're the one who's going to make things happen. And my previous partner at my last company, he's the CEO, I'm the COO. And I was just like, I'm the executor. I'm like, okay, you got the vision, John. You tell me what you want. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, yeah, compliance, yep, operation. Okay, let's do it. And I make it happen. And we still talk, even though we sold our business, but we still talk once a week. And I tell him, like, John, I really miss the visionary aspect of having a partner like that, a business partner like that, who's always like, why don't we do it 5 different ways, but which way is most impactful, And I feel, with Ignited, that's our mission, is when people come to me and say, I have an idea, I have a thought process. I'm like, okay, well, I'm giving you a platform. I'm giving you resources. So there's no excuses. So if you want to share your story and you want to go out on the road with us globally, like I said, we'll come to a city near you. I want to come. It's Arkansas, right, Sherry?
Right. No, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, Phoenix. That's right. In Phoenix. And so if we come to Phoenix, we want to impact people in Phoenix. It's just, we want to take it on the road. And that's why Ignited is different. It's just that we don't think small. There's nothing small about this. Dr. Freeman and I are like thinking so big to the point where people are like, are you sure you can even do this? Yeah. Watch.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Love it. Well, anything else, Miss?
I think that's it. Bindu, is there anything else you'd like to share with us and have us, send our lovely people listening today to?
No, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys. I hope you will join us on Monday, May 4th for our Sharpen Your Career Presence webinar. And like I said, it's live. It is 4 days. So if you can't make all 4 days, it's okay, because we'll have module exercises in the morning posted. And then in the evening, we have our live presentation that will be recorded. So it'll be recorded and be placed on the Facebook group page. So if you miss one day, you'll still get to go back and see it from the night before. And then you can just keep going. So it's okay if you miss 1 or even 2 of the sessions, because you get to, actually see the recording. Of course, we want you live, so you can ask us questions while we're live on the chat feature of the Facebook Live group. But I'm really, really excited. So if there's anyone who wants to reach out to me, like I said, you can go through our Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn group under Ignite It Global, or visit our website. I know it's on the screen as well, ignitedacademy.com, or just shoot me an email, bindu@igniteitacademy.com. It's BINDU. But thank you so much for having me today. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming. We had fun with you too. And I love your message.
Absolutely love your message. It's so in alignment with Expanded Woman and what Expanded Woman is about. And I want to thank every one of you that has listened in today. We hope that you will join Bindu on her webinar. And those of you who have seen value in this today, I want to tell you how grateful Misty and I are for each and every one of you. And we hope that you will share it out to your social media, different pages and stuff like that, because you know that this is all about lifting women up and helping women rise to a greater, grander expression of who they are. So Missy and I have decided to start doing this weekly. So we're going to do this every Tuesday now. And we are booked until June right now. For those of you, woohoo!
Amazing people like yourself. So.
Yes. But please, you guys, listen, each and every one of you has a story, and we value every one of you. And we would love it if you would reach out to us and come on our show. We want to hear your story. We want to hear the information you have to offer, and we want to share it with our community. So please reach out to us to book a podcast with us. So thank you all so much for being here today. And we look forward to the next podcast.
Bye, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.